Parasynthesis, it's a process in which we form word by compounding and with the addition of any derivational effects. But we find some problems. The phenomenon known as parasynthesis constitute a problem for morphological structure because it casts doubts on one of its crucial properties, namely binary branchings. Generally, while forming compound words or words, we take two morphemes. Two morphemes can be combined never, triplet, or bigger set. That is one of the established rules that we apply while we are dealing with morphology. Non-binary branching was rejected before on the grounds that when more than two units are combined at the same time, the relationship which is established between them is not clearly stated. I mean, we cannot say that at which time a certain unit was added to the base, this one or that one. So that creates a problem. Parasynthesis is the situation where two different affixes, normally a prefix and a suffix, seems to be added simultaneously to the same base. One example of this is the Spanish verb engrandecer, that means to enlarge, from adjective grande, big, right? So in this we find that two affixes n and ecia, sir, are added. So which of the two was combined first is a question. So this creates this situation. Neither the set formed by the base and the suffix hypothetical verb grandicer, nor that which includes the prefix and the base hypothetical adjective and grande constitute a word and problem. So this is a word that is found in French language in its present shape, and grandes. So in consequence, if it is assumed that only existing word can form on the basis of the further on the basis for further derivation, one is forced to conclude that the verb engrandecer has been formed by adding two units of the same at the same time, the prefix n and the suffix s, to the base grande. The same structure with a zero suffix has also been proposed in English for the words enlarge. So we can say that n is prefix, large is the base, and it has a suffix that is a zero morpheme. In this way, the analysis avoids saying that the prefix n is responsible for the category change. We know that prefix do not change the category, they do not have this ability. So it is crucial in parasynthesis that the combination with only one of the two affixes does not produce an existing word in the language. So combination of the two affixes do not produce any word in the whole of language. This is what creates a problem. So the similar situation is found in discontented, which is not the case of parasynthesis, however, because the root and the prefix form an extant word discontent, equally the root of the suffix from contented. So we can say that this is how this word was formed. Different proposals have been suggested in this regard to analyze or to give some logical reason for this and grandes, right? So we can look at this in this structure that it was n, that was the prefix, then grande, and then which was adjective, and then s, that was verb. So as a whole this became verb, whereas as I just said, in case of enlarge we have n prefix that is added to the base large, and then for the category change we have a zero morpheme, but the same is not there in the Spanish verb. one of the most widely accepted claim or widely accepted view in this regard is that we should accept that N and S in Spanish is actually a morpheme. It is a morpheme or a circumfix, right? We know that circumfixes are morpheme in which a certain base is put into. In this way, the structure would be binary branching as only two units, N, S, and grande A. So we will have a reason for believing that there were no true triplets or no bigger units but smaller units. The analysis of parasynthesis as a circumfix is an empirical problem, however. And what is that problem? That we cannot say that N and S are the instance of circumfixes. Why? Because they are two different affixes in the Spanish language. So the circumfix that should be proposed in the case of engrandecer has a second part which is identical to a Spanish prefix palidis, which means fade, and the first part that again is identical to a Spanish prefix and frente, in front. So as we can have these two parts separately used, established as two different affixes, so we cannot say that they form a circumfix. So this does not solve the problem. The fact that these units exist independently of each other suggests that it is not accurate to propose that a circumfix is responsible for the verb engrandecer. The weak side of this analysis that has to postulate an intermediate phase with a possible but non-existent word, hypothesis grandecer. So we can think that there was a word, we can hypothesize grandis, there existed a word and N was added to it. So this is how we can solve this or resolve this issue.